Good morning and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting for Wednesday, March 9, 2022 for the Board of Public Works. Thank you. Sorry, Dr. Campos, gonna chop that one up.
No worries. Vice President Garcia, good morning, everyone. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Establishing roll call and quorum for today, we have Vice President Garcia, President Pro Tem Davis, and Commissioners Caloza and Villegas. Vice President Garcia, you do have a quorum at this time. Currently, we do not have any callers on the line under general public comment. We also do not have any callers on the line for public commentary on any of the items. We also do not have any commentary on under the Neighborhood Council comments section. We did receive 2 comments via our Google form on our website that on item number 3 that will be distributed to all commissioners this morning. In addition to that, Vice President Garcia, or Madam Chair, there's been a request by the Bureau of Street Services to withdraw item number 3 from today's agenda, in as much as they would like additional time to work with the Planning Department on some of the conditions listed on the report. So their intent is to resubmit it at a later time. Again, the request is to withdraw item number 3 if there's no objections from your board.
Got it. Any objections, colleagues?
None from me.
Sounds like none.
Great, thank you, Madam Chair. We will go ahead and note that for the record.
Great. So we do not have any public speakers, right?
That is correct.
Okay, got it. So we'll move into approving the items for Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022. Is there a second to my motion to move this item forward?
Second.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Davis. I'll take 2 seconds from Commissioner Villegas and Dr. Davis. Dr. Campos, do we take roll call for this?
Absolutely. We'll start with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Caloza.
Aye.
And Commissioner Villegas. This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Madam Chair, would you like to move this forthwith?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Okay. I know the Bureau Engineer is here. We're going to do the bids first, and then we're going to move into the award. And that way we handle what we need to handle our business. So this is agenda item number 1 and 2. We're going to take these together. Dr. Campos, should I just read them all at the same time, or do you want me to separate as you read out the bids?
If you can read both items into the record, that would be great. And then from there, I can go ahead and open up the bids for both projects.
Perfect. Okay. This is agenda item number 1. This is bids received at 10 a.m. for the following public works projects. 2017 earmarked Northeast Valley Traffic and Mobility Improvement Federal Project number DEMO/5006/897 W.OE1908769, estimate of $3,262,076 in Council District 7. And agenda item number 2 is a bid at 10 a.m. Bids will be received at 10 a.m. for the following public works projects. This is in Council District 1, Cypress Homeless Housing, 500 North Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90031, W.0.E1908893, estimate of $5,328,500 in Council District 1. Dr. Campos?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We will now begin to open up the bids for the first project. Again, this is in Council District 7 for the 2017 earmarked Northeast Valley Traffic and Mobility Improvement Project. We did receive 4 bids for the first project. We will now begin to read the bids. The first bid for the first project is for Comet Electric Incorporated for a total bid amount of $2,995,440 even. That's $2,995,440 from Comet Electric Incorporated. The second bid received from the first project is from Crosstown Electrical and Data Incorporated for a total bid amount of $3,299,677 even. That's $3,299,677 from Crosstown Electrical and Data Incorporated. The third bid for the first project is from International Line Builders Incorporated, Electric Incorporated, for a total bid amount of $3,064,222 even. That's 3064222 from International Line Builders Electric Incorporated. The fourth and final bid for the first project is from KDC Incorporated, doing business as Dynalectric LA, for a total bid amount of $3,780,899 even. That's 3780899 from KDC Incorporated, doing business as Dynalectric LA. Madam Chair, that concludes the bid openings for the first project. We will now begin to open up bids for the second project.
Okay.
For the record, the second project is for Council District 1 Cypress Homeless Housing in Council District 1 for a total bid amount of, or the total estimate amount of $5,328,500 even. We did receive 3 bids for the second project. The first bid received for the second project is from Access Pacific Incorporated for a total bid amount of $5,040,632.96. That's 5040632.96 from Access Pacific Incorporated. The second bid received for the second project is from Ford EC Incorporated for a total bid amount of $4,747,500 even. That's 4747500 from Ford EC Incorporated. For the record, line item number 8 has been lined out by the contractor and it has been initialed. The third and final bid received for the second project is from CS Legacy Construction Incorporated for a total bid amount of $4,854,150. I'm going to go with the 157,000. Let me start that again. $4,854,157 even. That's 4854157. For the record, the 7 may look like a 1, but it would either be 4,854,151 or 4,854,157 for the record. And this is from CS Legacy Construction Incorporated. Madam Chair, that concludes the bid openings for the second project and all bids for today's agenda. You can go ahead and take a motion to accept, declare, and receive these bids.
Got it. Is there a motion on the table to receive these bids? Like, I'll second it. This is moved by Commissioner Calosa, second by myself, Dr. Campos.
Absolutely. This is to adopt item number 1 and 2 to open, receive, and declare the bids under items 1 and 2. We'll go ahead and start the voting tabulation, and we'll start with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Calosa. Is that an aye?
Yeah, I said aye.
Thank you. Thank you. And Commissioner Villegas.
Aye.
The motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Madam Chair, would you like to move items 1 and 2 forthwith?
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. And for the record, I did have Matthew Castellanos in my office opening up the bids.
I thought so.
I didn't move my camera around, but he was here. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I know he's there. All right. Well, thank you very much for that, and thank you, Matthew, for your time. We'll move on now to a very special part of today. This is our Rory Shaw Award. I'm going to pass it over and hand it over to our Commissioner Calosa, who has our liaison to the Bureau of Engineering. But on a personal note, this is always so special to me. I've been doing this now for 5 years, 3 in person, and so I was always happy to meet the folks that came out of town, especially Rory Shaw's family and definitely also the awardees. So me personally, I just have to say welcome and thank you for always putting this on the agenda. And please forever keep it on. How's that? As transitions happens, as everything will happen in the next, years, I hope this award maintains its place in the board for years and years to come. And so with that, I'll hand it over to Commissioner Calosa.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, happy March. It's Women's History Month, and also belated City Engineers Week. I remember we did not greet all of our engineers last month, so there's lots to celebrate today. But before I turn it over to our lead presenter, our city engineer, Gary Lee Moore, echo Madam Chair's sentiments about this very special award. It's about honoring someone's legacy who contributed so much to the city and to his community, and the ripple effects of his leadership and his commitment to just excellence and doing the right thing always is still felt today. And what an incredible legacy Mr. Shaw has left. And there's so many people who have been given this award in the past. And I'm so excited for today's honoree because I think she is an incredible public servant, an incredible engineer, and I can't wait till we embarrass her a little bit today. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our incredible city engineer, Gary Lee Moore, to lead us into this presentation.
Well, good morning, commissioners, and thank you so much. And it's so great to be with all of you this morning because you understand how important this is to all of us in the Bureau of Engineering. So it's really special to have the four of you here. I'm joined this morning by the executive team of the Bureau of Engineering, Deborah, Ted, Alfred, Julie, Jose. They've all joined me, along with past award winners are all here also. And some of them have retired. Some of them are now the city engineer of Manhattan Beach. So it just, this award is special to us. But the reason it's special is because we had a very special employee, Rory Shaw. Rory, just a little bit of background about Rory. He graduated with a mathematics degree from Michigan State in 1979. He went on into the Navy where he served for 4+ years, attended nuclear power school. Education, that wasn't enough education. He went on to get a Bachelor of Science degree in engineering and joined us in 1991. And, this year's, in 2005 when Rory was out there during a horrendous storm event, he was doing his job. Unfortunately, he lost his life. And we've been forever touched by his dedication. And, I met two special people 1 or 2 days later, and that was his mother, Shirley Shaw, and his sister, Leslie. And we're so fortunate to have Leslie with us. And I want to about Shirley a little bit and why she's not here, and that's because Shirley, who came every year, this is the 17th award winner, and Shirley made the trip out from Traverse City, where I would always kid Shirley, and I looked it up today, 32 degrees in Traverse City today with our balmy 68, and she made it out every year to be with us in person, as you said, Commissioner Garcia. She came in person, and she came every year until 2019, but it was special last year. She was able to join us. That's where this technology of Zoom is wonderful. She was able to join us last year, and I'm so sad to share with you that on February 1st, we lost Shirley. 89 years young, and just a special person. I mean, the handwritten, lengthy Christmas cards from her, the personal touch for me, and the friendship that I developed with her is just, it was very sad when I received Leslie's notification about the passing of her mother. She's a very, very special person, and I know she's enjoying this, but I just wish she was here in person. And before I go further, I'd like to turn it over to Leslie. She'd like to say anything this morning.
I was not expecting to say anything, Gary. You caught me unawares. I'm happy that I can join you. My mom, she began to realize that, it was going to be a few more years before the park was going to be officially open or celebrated. And I think that just motivated her more. She would do her loops and walk, and she was very, very active, and it was definitely a goal of hers. And she will be there in spirit, and she's here in spirit today as well. So thank you all for continuing with the award. It means a lot.
Thank you, Leslie. And what Leslie is referring to is out where the accident happened. The LA County is building infiltration, watershed infiltration, but it's the Rory M. Shaw Park. And so we're looking forward, they're about to start on some construction, and we look forward to celebrating the opening of that park, Leslie, with you and your granddaughter and your daughter and son, Shirley's grandchildren. It'll be a special day for all of us. Another positive out of that very sad day. Rory was just special. Commissioner Closa knows with our emergency sewer program that we support the Bureau of Sanitation with, we often have to call and get authority to proceed on because it exceeds the authority of the city engineer. And Rory had that relationship with Commissioner Ellen Stein. And Rory, 3-4 times a week, they were definitely family, and it was just a special relationship that they had, and the board was always so supportive of Rory and so thank you for this morning. And some of the attributes about Rory is that he was an outstanding employee dedicated to duty and outstanding leadership qualities. He made significant contributions in furthering the Bureau of Engineering's mission and goals by performing his duties at the level of excellence far exceeding established standards. He definitely developed partnerships with the board, other city departments, bureaus, the contracting community, consultants, and definitely the community loved him. Whenever he was on site, they always felt very comfortable. He established truly a reputation for professional service. He recognized and he was definitely recognized and respected by his colleagues, supervisors, Bureau of Sanitation. Everybody knew Rory was an expert. And finally, he demonstrated extraordinary problem-solving capability. And as I said, this is the 17th year that we're awarding this, and we were so pleased. There was a unanimous selection, and Natalie's supervisor, Shay, wrote about her, and I'll just highlight a few things about her as he said, and thank you, Shay, for nominating her. Ever since Natalie joined the 6th Street Viaduct Division in June 2016, she has always been outstanding. She is the division's lead on change orders, estimating, and scheduling. And I know you know from Julie Allen's regular reports, it's been a very challenging project that we're going to see open up this summer, but Natalie was right in the middle of everything. And Natalie's extraordinary problem-solving abilities and natural leadership instincts have been on full display. Natalie is fair while staying firm and upholding the contract. She has earned the deep respect of the entire Bureau of Engineering team, the contractor, and all those who have interacted with her. And she's contributed to the Bureau of Engineering strategic planning. She's also on-campus recruitment she does for us. And then we have a project delivery fundamentals class, and the scheduling used to be taught by Alan Kawaguchi, who was a project program manager 3. Natalie does the class now for the whole Bureau of Engineering on scheduling. So she's unbelievable in everything she did, as she does. She joined us after her bachelor's degree from Cal State Polytechnic University Pomona. Alfred and Julie Sauter are very proud of that since they're graduates, and Natalie was graduated in 2011. She joined us in 2014, and then in 2016 joined the 6-3 Viaduct and is currently a civil engineer. I just personally just want to say, Natalie, I've got to interface with you numerous times in very contentious settings, and your calmness is because you're so well prepared. You're so competent and calm, and I love seeing these contractors try to knock you off the pedestal there of being correct, and they can't. That's because you've done your homework. You're just an outstanding representative of the Bureau of Engineering. And in a second, after Julie Allen speaks, I'll present you the award here that I have at my desk, which will soon be with you. But I'll turn it over to Julie Allen.
Thank you, Gary. I'm very honored to be here today to be able to honor Rory's memory. I remember working with him many years ago when I, excuse me, when I first joined the Bureau, and he was just such a vibrant, strong personality and gave everything he had to do what's best for the city. And I can't think of a better person than Natalie to be honored in his memory, because she has that same approach to every problem she encounters. She finds solutions. And like you mentioned, Gary, with the contractors, normally they try to push people over and bully them, and Natalie just stands her ground. And to be honest, they actually really like working with her because she'll get stuff done, and she knows the contract, she knows how to help them, and it's just been such a blessing for me on this project to have her working right outside my office. I bounce things off of her all the time, and I can always count on her to give me great advice, and it's advice that's a benefit to the project and to the city as a whole. It's always straight information, and I'm just so lucky that I've been able to work with her since 2016, when I got the chance to handpick someone coming to the Bureau or to my program, and she came as the most highly recommended person from the head of Construction Management Division, and boy, he was right on. She's just fantastic and has really developed within the program, as Gary said, to be an expert in scheduling and change orders. And as you know, it's been a very challenging project, and she's really stepped up and been such a leader to our team in these areas. And personally, I just want to say I'm so proud of you, Natalie, and I know that you deserve this, and I'm just happy to be here to be able to celebrate with you. So congratulations.
Natalie, on behalf of everybody in the Bureau of Engineering, and I know your coworkers are on the call and supporting you, on behalf of everybody here, it's our pleasure to present you the 2022 Rory M. Shaw Outstanding Employee Award to Natalie Moore. Congratulations, Natalie, and I'll turn it back over to the commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll say our pieces, and then we're Natalie, and then we'll let you kind of take it away from there. Congratulations, Natalie. It is really an honor and a pleasure to work amongst you and to work amongst this whole entire setup here that you have with BOE and everyone else. But to get an award from the city engineer, it's even like, wow. So I would say, it's like you've been checked. You're doing a great job, Natalie. City engineer officially has said that. And so I just want to say congratulations for your time and for everything that you do for us at the city. And we look forward to driving through that bridge and knowing that Natalie, Julie, and good people like you made that possible. So congratulations. I'm going to pass it over now to, I'll go with Commissioner Villegas and then Commissioner Davis, and then we'll end with Commissioner Calosa.
Good morning. I won't be long, but I appreciate the moment to be able just to say a few words. I heard a theme as our city engineer was talking, and that's like dedication to duty. and support of the value system that the City of Los Angeles has, in support of the value system that the Bureau of Engineering has. That's not just for Mr. Rory Shaw, but it's also for Natalie Moore, to come in every single day and to love what you do is the most important aspect of a healthy work environment, and being able to problem solve, because let's face it, we get a lot of problem solving every single day, and to really hold that value system front and center, really, just it is emblematic of the just dedication and work ethic that you have. And you're a fellow Bronco, as am I. Congratulations. What a treat to be able to honor you today. Congratulations.
Dr. Davis? You're on mute, though.
Thank you so much. I want to start out thanking our leadership, Gary Lee Moore and Deborah Weintraub, Julie, and also Ted, the whole management team at the Bureau of Engineering. It's critically important that we do this every year, and it really, to me, seems like it was just yesterday that we did it. I remember so fondly Shirley here, and she was always here with pride, as she should have been. And I really miss her not being here today. And Leslie, I want to thank you for representing your family and carrying on the legacy and the support for this award in your brother's name. And I think the work that the leadership in the Engineering Bureau has done is important to the culture in the Department of Public Works. It is one that has a core value of achievement. And so it is fitting that we continue every year to hold up the fact that we hold dear excellence. And so when we thank Natalie for her outstanding work, we do it in memory of Roy, but we also do it to say that what will sustain the work that we do in public works, the service delivery that we bring to the citizens of Los Angeles, is the knowledge and skill of our employees like Roy Shaw and like Natalie Moore. And Natalie, I have the personal appreciation for your unflappable attitude as you interact with the tough contractors. We know it's that rigor that brings about the kind of productivity that is sustaining, and that you have let the guys know that you are not only reliable, but you're valid in terms of the advice that you give to Julie and to our bureau. So congratulations for being outstanding, for demonstrating the importance of knowledge and skill, and most of all, for reflecting what achievement is all about in public service. So Bureau of Engineering, to the Shaw family, and also to you, Natalie, congratulations, and thank you so very much for the work that you do in making this recognition to Roy possible for all of us to enjoy. Thank you.
And Commissioner Calosa.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And first off, a big thank you to Gary Lee Moore, City Engineer, and the entire management team from BOE for being here today. I wish we could do this in person because it means a lot to see all of the deputy city engineers here and so many people from the Bureau of Engineering taking time out of their very busy schedules to really recognize one of their own, somebody that so many of us look up to. And so thank you to the entire BOE team for taking the time today. To the Shaw family, Leslie, thank you so much for allowing us to continue the legacy of Mr. Shaw and your very special family member. It's just so special that you're here with us today, even though your mom isn't able to be here today. Please know that we're also planning to adjourn today's board meeting in her memory because we want to be able to memorialize what she's given back to us over almost the last 2 decades of showing up and being here and recognizing all the different honorees that have been able to fill the shoes of Rory. So I wanted to share that. And if you're not able to stay on for the duration of the meeting, we'll definitely send you the recording so you have that and you're able to share it with the rest of your family. But we loved your mother just as much as we've loved Rory. So thank you for sharing them with us. And to Natalie, Natalie has been at the board so many times. You received recognition from the board during Women's History Month, I believe, 2-3 years ago. And so you are somebody who continues to rise to the top, whether it's in recognition of Women's History Month or before us today, the Rory Shaw Award. You are just an incredible public servant, as I mentioned. For those of you who haven't had a chance to witness Natalie in some of our 6th Street Viaduct Steering Committee meetings that Gary mentioned, Natalie is a tough cookie and she looks really nice, but I would hate to be on the other side of Natalie if I'm a contractor, because she rises to the challenge and she's been given so many tough projects and tough problems to solve, and she doesn't back away from them. She thrives when it comes to tough challenges, tough problems to solve, especially during 6th Street, whether it's managing the implementation of the dispute review board, to change orders, to scheduling. These are tough, major problems that Natalie has helped the Bureau and consequently the city help navigate for our largest bridge project in the history of the city. And she's done it in a field of construction where there's not that very many women. And the 6th Street project that we have at the city is really unique in that sense. And sometimes I have to really pinch myself to remind myself that the women that we see leading this project, that's really unusual. It's really unusual because we know that women are really underrepresented in engineering and in construction, and to see the likes of Natalie and Julie and Karen really help lead the way on this major project, I think is something so to be commended, especially to the leadership at BOE, because you're uplifting incredible women engineers, and Natalie, you just are the embodiment of all of that goodness. And I'm so excited that you're getting this award because you work really hard and so many people look up to you. I know there's an engineer in training right now watching you get this award and saying, I want to be like Natalie and lead a project like 6th Street one day. And so just know that your ripple effects in BOE and the city are going to be just as impactful as Rory's and all the other honorees that came before you. So thank you for all your hard work. We can't wait to celebrate with you soon and the rest of the BOE team on this incredible project. And I can't wait to see what you'll do next. So congratulations, Natalie.
Thank you. Sorry, I wasn't getting my click there. Natalie, do you want to give us your honor? Well, hang on, Natalie. I know you're on top of your seat to do this, but I want to let any other of our BOE members see if they want to share anything with us. So, Deborah, do you want to say a few words? And anybody else on the BOE team that wants to share some words, we'll do it. And then Natalie will let you say it.
Well, I would love to say a few words, and I've watched Natalie grow and develop as a true leader. But I have a funny story to tell about Natalie, and she knows what I'm going to tell. As Chief Deputy City Engineer, I went out to tour a really complicated construction project, the Lacretz Innovation Campus, which was the renovation of some old warehouse buildings in the Arts District. I came fully prepared, my hard hat, my gloves, my vest. Nevertheless, I tripped and fell flat on my face. The only time I've ever done that on a construction job. But I was protected. My hard hat kept me from smashing my nose to pieces. So Natalie calmly picked me up, let me link arms with her and walk through the rest of the site. And I was shaken. I was definitely shaken. So I just want to say she's dealt with a lot of complicated moments, and that was one that I so appreciated and will never forget. And congratulations, Natalie. You know, I'll be around after I retire to see you become city engineer. You clearly have that in you. Congratulations. Thank you, Commissioners.
Wow, thank you, Deborah. It's a nice story. Anyone else from the BOE team, if you want to raise your hand? Dr. Campos will look out for that. I see Ted Allen. Ted Allen, go ahead.
Thank you. I just want to, well, first of all, I obviously hear secondhand a lot of how much she helps Julie. So I know on 6th Street very well what a great job she does. But she also has worked at our public counter before, I think at Central District, right, Natalie? Yeah. And it was mostly before my time or entirely before my time, but I continue to hear people say, hey, do you think we'll ever be able to get Natalie back? You know, so she did a great job with the public there too. And so I think there's really not anything she can't do, but I wanted to add that as well. And congratulations, Natalie.
Thank you. Thank you, Ted. Sounds like we want to clone you, Natalie. Anyone else? I'm more than happy to take on anyone else in that scene. All right, Natalie, it seems like it's your time to shine now. Want to hear from you.
Thank you all so much. I'm truly humbled, and I'm a very emotional person. Many people don't know that about me, but so I'm gonna try not to cry, but I'm already tearing up. And I'm joined by my mom here next to me, who retired from BOE in 2008 after a 36-year career. So I'm so fortunate that she was able to join and witness this. So first of all, yes, thank you so much for all the kind words and the nomination and the recognition of this award. I'm so truly humbled. And thank you, Leslie, for attending and carrying on Rory's legacy and being a part of this. It's such a great honor, and I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to meet Shirley, but I'm so happy that you were able to join us. I want to, thank you for acknowledging all of the challenges this project has brought. I have been on this project nearly 6 years now, and it's definitely a career-defining project and role that I've had. And it is, without a doubt, the most challenging thing I have ever done. A lot of the stuff I do is behind the scenes, and you all may not see that. I work very closely with Julie and work very closely with the contractor every day, and there have been so many challenges to get to this point of opening this year, and I'm so happy that I've been able to stick it out. I've given blood, sweat, and tears to this project, and so I'm so happy to be recognized for all of that hard work, but I'm even more proud of what I've given the project and what I hope to see carry on in the future park project, very soon after the bridge opens. So thank you so much, and I want to give a big recognition to Julie Allen. I would not be here without her mentorship and her support. Over the years, I've worked so closely with her. I've moved right outside of her door when we were back in the office, and I talked to her constantly throughout the day. And she has become a mentor and a friend, as well as a supervisor and a manager to us. And I'm so fortunate to have learned from her, worked under her, her leadership skills and her problem-solving ability and her work with the contractor, very challenging contractor, can't be understated by any means. And just watch her with the grit that she has and the calmness. It's definitely something I've learned from and try to embody on this project and in the future. So I can't not recognize the effect that she's had on me. Also, thank you so much, Shay, for your nomination and your kind words. Shay is a great supervisor to work under and kind of lets me do whatever I want. I have full support of him and Julie, and they trust me, and that is, without a doubt, the most rewarding thing every day is knowing that I have the support of my supervisors, my managers. It just empowers me to continue doing better and giving it my all every day. So thank you both so much. And thank you, Gary, again, for your kind words. I know I've worked with you very closely over, getting through the settlement with the contractor to get to this point where we're at. Looking forward to opening very soon. And I'm so happy that I was trusted with doing a lot of the background work for you guys to get where we ultimately got to it. So thank you so much, and truly an honor. Thank you.
Natalie, hey, you got to tell us, are you married? You got to acknowledge, I know mom's there, but...
Yes, yes. Unfortunately, my husband wasn't able to join us today. He had to work, but yes, we have a rule. He can talk about his work, but I can't talk about mine. It's just far too complicated. He doesn't understand. But I've always had my mom, and every day I have a very long commute. I have a 50-mile commute one way, and so when we were working from the office, every day, as soon as I get in the car, I'd call my mom and I would tell her, "Oh, I can't believe this happened today." And she knew everything that was going on. And so I'm glad I've had that support, and I didn't want to bring that into my home with my husband. But she kind of understands, she kind of doesn't, but that's okay. And, definitely my dad, every time I go up to my parents to visit them, my dad, who worked, in the construction industry, he knows that background. He's always asking what's going on with the bridge and what's the latest and when are they going to be done. And so it's so rewarding having such a supportive family. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, your emotional passed along to most of us here. So thank you, Natalie, for all those great words. And thank you, BOE, for bringing such a beautiful morning to us with this award and with this presentation with Natalie, with the Shaw family as well. And so thank you all. And that award you'll get to put in the back right there next to your candle. That's really nice. Thank you, Natalie, for your time as well. Thank you, BOE, for your time. And thank you all. I almost don't want to say goodbye because how do I go back to business now? But I just want to say it was a very special morning having you all here. And very sad about Ms. Shaw, and my condolences to you and your family on behalf of the Board of Public Works. We will be adjourning on her name today. So, if you want to stick around, you guys want to take a break and come back while we do business, that would be nice. But we will be adjourning on her name today. So, Natalie, you get a double whammy on your award this morning. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a good rest of the day.
Bye-bye.
All right, colleagues, how do we turn around from that? We are going to take number 3. Item number 3 was continued, so we'll move that along. We're going to move on to item number 4. Item number 4, TJ Knight, are you here with us? All right.
Yes, I am, Vice President Garcia.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is in all council districts. This is a personal service contract for Prime Government Solutions, Meeting Management System Services, Board of Public Works. Recommending the board, subject to mayoral's approval, 1, find that the Los Angeles Charter Code sections 371 and 1022 are satisfied in as much as the office of the city clerk solicited and selected services through a competitive selection process, and the personnel department has determined that no city staff can perform the proposed services respectively. 2, approve the contract between the City of Los Angeles and Prime Government Solutions for meeting management system services for a contract term of 3 years with a total not to exceed cost of $327,470. And 3, authorize the president or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to sign and execute the proposed contract. TJ?
Good morning again, Vice President Garcia, President Pro Tem Mike Davis, Commissioners Close and Villegas, your reps, Mr. Jordan and Dr. Campos. My name is TJ Knight. I am representing the Board of Public Works, and I'm here this morning to provide a brief overview of the request before your board to approve the draft contract between the Board of Public Works and Prime Government Solutions, also known as PrimeGov, and authorize 2 members of your board to sign and execute the proposed contract. The board currently uses City Clerk's Granicus and Novus contracts for its meeting management and file hosting services to archive its meeting audio recordings, agendas, minutes, and journals. The City Clerk selected PrimeGov to provide meeting management services for City Council. And the contractor has been doing so for City Council meetings since March 8, 2021. The City Clerk's contract contains language allowing other commission departments to piggyback off their selection process, which the Board Secretariat is requesting your authority to do so. PrimeGov will work with the Board Secretariat and Executive Officer to customize its system to meet our needs. If approved, this agreement will be one resource the Board plans to implement in order to become a video-based commission. We also have a budget request to implement hearing room upgrades that would address the periodic, unpredictable technical glitches, low audio levels, and unanticipated downtime that we all experience. The PrimeGov system will also allow the Climate Emergencies Mobilization Commission the ability to manage their meetings using a state-of-the-art service. And just to recap, before you is an agreement for 3 years and a contract ceiling of $327,470 to provide data migration and meeting management services for the Board of Public Works. This contract is 100% general funded, and therefore the impact is no greater than $327,470 for a 3-year term. This will, I just want to add that this, if approved, this transition to PrimeGov will create a synergy with the bureaus, the clerk, and the mayor's office to allow for one system for transmitting and tracking all Board of Public Works approved items. And that concludes my report. So I am available to answer any questions you might have.
Great. Thank you, TJ. I think your birds were part of the presentation too. We got to we heard your birds chirping back there.
Oh,
Well, maybe
yeah.
not your birds,
It's
the
so
city
nice
birds.
out.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. All right, colleagues, any questions to TJ? We'll start with you, Commissioner Calosa.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have any questions on this item. I know our boardroom and our systems need investment and upgrades, so this is a long-awaited contract, I think, to take the work that we do and how we communicate with the public and giving them more access. It'll take us to the 21st century, so it's long awaited, and thanks to our board team for leading this project. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Calosa. Dr. Davis, any questions?
Yeah, my question, TJ, is you mentioned that there would be a synergy between our office and the mayor's office and other city stakeholders. Did you mean that, in fact, we all use the same service, or that the flow of data and information will be much more accessible to all? Or did you mean both?
Excellent question, Commissioner Davis. Yes, I mean both, that we will all use the same service, and that information flow and tracking of approved reports, transmission of our approved reports to council, and the ability for our partner departments such as DOT and the bureaus to track their documents will be one system, and it will certainly be easier for tracking approved documents through the process.
Great, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Davis. And Commissioner Villegas.
Hi, thank you. I don't have any questions either. I'm glad that we're doing this work. And thank you, TJ, for your report. It was comprehensive.
Agreed. All right. Well, colleagues, it seems like we're all excited about this new program coming to us. We too like to be part of everybody like the city. So thank you for keeping us moving us into the 21st century, like Calosa said, and also for keeping us up to date with everybody else at the city. Very important to do that. So with that, is there a second to my motion to move this item forward?
Second.
Okay. Dr. Campos, no worries. We have a first by me and second by Commissioner Villegas and Dr. Davis. Can we take roll call?
Absolutely. We'll start with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Calosa,
Aye.
and Commissioner Villegas.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Madam Chair, would you like to move item 4 forthwith?
Yes, please. Double forthwith.
Yes. And this is subject to the mayor's approval, so we will forward it to the mayor's office as well.
Okay, thank you. Just want to get us up to speed already. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, TJ, thank you for your day. Have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye. All right, colleagues, this leads us now into item number 5. This is an AFE for our council districts. This is Southern California Alliance of Publicly Owned Treatment Works. Bureau of Sanitation and Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority of expenditure in the amount of $50,000 to pay for annual membership dues for the period of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2022. And today we have Ms. Samala here presenting, right? And Ms. Jones. All right. Well, Ms. Jones, take it away.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Christina Jones with the Sanitation Environment. We are seeking your approval this morning to pay the Southern California Alliance of POTWs, also known as SCAP, annual membership dues in the amount of $50,000. For over 25 years, the City of Los Angeles and LA San have benefited from being a member of this regional organization. We receive support in technical and regulatory compliance and advance notification of upcoming regulations and legislation. I am actually the past Biosolids Committee co-chair, so I have Janet here today with me since she is now the new Biosolids Committee co-chair. And with that, we thank you for your consideration, and if you have any questions, we would be happy to address them.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Ms. Jones, for that. Any questions, colleagues? I'll start with Commissioner Villegas. Any questions?
Thank you. I am wondering, once we become members from Southern California Alliance of Publicly Owned Treatment Works, is there any access that the commissioners can get just to look at this, just to look at the what they have to offer?
Sure, I can follow up. This is a membership that is beneficial to all the staff at sanitation, and our COO, Tracy Minnie, is actually on the board currently. She took over for Enrique's LA County representation spot, so I'd be happy to follow up and find out what the board can do to be involved as well.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
That was a good question. Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Commissioner Calosa, any questions?
I don't have any additional questions on this item. Thank you for your presentation, Ms. Jones.
Thank you. And Dr. Davis, any questions?
None on this item. Thank you.
Okay, got it. Thank you. I don't have any questions either. Is there a motion on the table to move this item forward?
So moved.
Great. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Great. Dr. Campos, we have a first by Dr. Davis and a second by Commissioner Villegas. Can we take roll call?
Absolutely. We'll start with you, Madam Chair.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis,
Aye.
Commissioner Caloza,
Aye.
and Commissioner Villegas.
Aye.
This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Madam Chair, would you like to move this item forward forthwith?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Christina and Janet, for your time. Nice seeing you both. Have a good rest of the day. All right, colleagues, that's moving us now right along to item number 6. This is an item in Council District 11. It's an AFE for Value Management Strategies, Inc. The Bureau of Sanitation and the Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution for an authority for expenditure in the amount of $30,535.41 to pay for services provided related to the Ad Hoc Advisory Committee for the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant Sewer Discharge incident that occurred on July 11, 2021. And today we have TJ Knight. All right, TJ, once again.
Good morning again, Commissioners. TJ Knight and my backyard birds with the Board of Public Works here on behalf of Bureau of Sanitation's request for your approval for the authority for expenditure in the amount of $30,535.41 to pay for services related to the Ad Hoc Advisory Committee for the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant Sewer Discharge Incident on July 11th, 2021. The Ad Hoc Advisory Committee required the services of Value Management Strategies to schedule and coordinate meetings, prepare agendas, facilitate the meetings, coordinate presentations, debrief commissioners, and assist with meeting workflow and document control. This funding is 100% FCM funded operations. There is no general fund impact. And that concludes my brief report. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Got it. Thank you, TJ. Any questions, colleagues, on this item? We can start with you, Commissioner Calosa. Dr. Davis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Knight. I don't have any additional questions on this item.
Got it. Thank you. And Dr. Davis, any questions?
None for me on this item either.
Got it. And Commissioner Villegas, any questions?
None from me either. Just comment that they were very valuable to the ad hoc committee.
Got it. Okay. And TJ, with this, once we paid this amount, basically that's the end of our contract with Value Management?
Yes, yes, that's accurate. Yes.
Okay, got it. All right, colleagues. Any motion to bring this item to the table?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Dr. Campos, there's a first by Commissioner Villegas and a second by Dr. Davis to move this item forward.
Yes, we'll go ahead and start the voting tabulation at this time. Madam Chair, we'll start with you.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Davis.
Aye.
Commissioner Calosa.
Aye.
And Commissioner Villegas.
Aye.
Thank you. This motion is adopted and carries unanimous. Madam Chair, would you like to move item 6 forward forthwith?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, TJ. Glad we're going to get them paid, and now we'll have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. This moves us now to our oral reports for today's agenda. This is a transportation projects update. The Los Angeles Metropolitan Transportation Authority plus Department of Transportation will be giving us an update. All right. So, Team Metro, are you guys here?
Yeah, yes, we're here, Commissioner.
Okay. I don't see you. Can we highlight them, Dr. Campos?
I'm just trying to get Samay, if you can just keep your video cam on. There you go. Perfect. And I can go ahead and highlight the team as they start presenting their presentation.
Okay. All right. We're ready when you're ready. Good to see you, by the way.
Thank you. So we start with the Crenshaw LAX, and we have Stephanie Leslie, Deputy Executive Officer, that will bring or provide you with quick presentation. Stephanie?
Yes. Can you see and hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, Crenshaw project. 8.5 miles, 8 new stations, $2.1 billion is our project cost, and we are very close to completion. We should probably bump up that percentage a little bit more. Next slide, please. Just taking you through some of our major stations. Again, since our last update to you, the work really has been complete, and we are really in just the punch list and testing modes for this project. So here at the Expo Crenshaw station at the north end of the project, the upper left corner, they are doing some welding and attaching handrails along the stairs. Lower left, they are doing routine maintenance on the escalators. They do on a monthly basis have to come in and perform maintenance on the elevators and escalators until such time that we actually open the line. On the upper right-hand corner, they're installing tree grates at the plaza level around the palm trees. Next slide, please. Moving on to the Martin Luther King Jr. station, upper right, they are testing the fare gates, and they're doing that at all 3 of the stations by testing fare gates and the ticket vending machines. The lower left-hand corner, they are doing cleanup work at all the plazas, at all of the stations. This particular picture, they're cleaning up the bike racks outside the stairwell at MLK. Upper right, They're just doing some work on the emergency stairs, cleaning, buffing, making sure there are no high points. And all these stairs, the concrete stairs, they're in the back of house, so this is nothing that the public will ever see. Next slide, please. Our Vernon Station, Lamert Park Station, upper left, they are again testing the ticket vending machines. And again, they're doing that at all three of our underground stations. Well, they're doing it up and down the alignment. But this is at Vernon. The upper right-hand corner, again, doing more cleaning of the canopies and overheads. I think specifically he is cleaning our CCTV, closed circuit television cameras at the lobby. Lower right, we are again buffing, smoothing the stairs in the back of house. This is our emergency walkway leading from the station to the tunnel. Next slide, please. Continuing south, this is the Park Mesa area of the project. The view on the left, obviously an aerial view. In the foreground is the station, and this station is just south of Slauson. We have entrances on both ends of the station at Slauson and the second one at 59th. On the right-hand side, this is a view of the Park Mesa area, the paving that has just recently been completed. I believe when we reported last time they had completed, this is the portion of work that we took out of our contractor's contract, and we asked the city to perform this paving, and that has been complete now. This is a shot between the 60th and 48th Street area on Park Mesa. The city has also, since our last reporting, completed paving all the way up to Obama. So Crenshaw now from 67th up to Obama. Nicely, newly paved, newly striped. Everything is complete now through that stretch. Next slide, please. And as I said before, we're really into the testing portion of the project and the work. And this is an example of one more test. Try to give you visuals when there is something I can actually show on the screen. This is a live wire test. Our inspectors are viewing from inside the cab of the train via, via a camera that's posted on top of the train, so they can see what's happening with the live wire as the pantograph makes contact with the live OCS wire above. So we're seeing sparks here, and that's obviously something that we do not want to see. So adjustments are made with the tension in the live wire. But again, this is just one of the tests that's being performed that can give you a visual of what we're doing. Next slide, please. And that's it for our progress photos in terms of closures. Because we are at the end of the project, we're again anticipating no additional closures through the end of the project. Annette, are you on the line?
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having us. Well, it's exciting that we are very close to opening our line. We continue with the outreach, although we don't have upcoming community street closures. We do have community update meetings. We still host bi-monthly community update meetings where we provide very similar photos and updates as Stephanie just provided. We will actually have one scheduled this month on the 31st. We are still virtual. We also continue to have our e-updates, and that includes construction notices, and there is a newsletter that is sent out. We continue to do phone calls, and we've started one-on-one conversations and meetings with a couple of stakeholders. It just depends on the activity for the different areas. We're also have continued small briefings with stakeholder groups where we update maybe Chamber of Commerce in the area, and we have attended virtually neighborhood council meetings to provide updates as well. We continue to engage our Community Leadership Council. We have a quarterly meeting with them, so they're also have been maintained, updated on the progress of the project, and we've been able to respond to any questions that they have. We also continued with our small business mitigation programs, specifically the Eat Shop Play program, which you are all familiar with. We provide basically free advertisement for the small businesses that sign up, and it's free of charge to the small businesses. And there is an array of different services that we provide. During the pandemic, we really supported them virtually for any business that didn't have a website. We worked with a second program, which is the Business Solutions Center, to support some of these businesses to help them build their presence online. And then we would then provide virtual ads, maybe on their social media. Next, does anyone have any questions on the outreach? No. Next slide, please. I believe Sydney's on the call, and he'll provide an update on the BSC and BIF program.
Yes, thanks, Annette. And good morning, everyone. Good morning, Madam Chair and fellow commissioners. My name is Sydney Yermanchev, and I'll give a brief presentation on our pilot small business construction mitigation programs, the BSC and the Business Interruption Fund. The BSC provides hands-on business development services to the small businesses along the Crenshaw LAX Transit Project. They also provide expert business advice and coaching, technical assistance, and referrals to expert professionals. As Annette mentioned in the previous slide, we work closely to ensure that the small businesses have access to our services and have helped them during the COVID-19 in adapting to reach their consumer base. Next slide, please. And just a quick update for the BIF. Metro's BIF has remained active throughout construction and throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, and is accepting applications for transit rail construction impact that has been sustained during the COVID-19 pandemic, which is essentially March 2020 forward. Small mom and pop businesses that have experienced the transit rail construction impact may be eligible and will have to meet all BIF eligibility program requirements as well as technical qualifications. Next slide, please. And just an update on the high-level stats for the specific for the Crenshaw LAX Transit Project. As of late February, as of February 25th this year, the total number of grants awarded is 824, which is a 22 amount increase since the last report in early December, and the total grant award values is just over 20.5 million, with over a 500,000 increase since the last report period in early December, and that's for 235 individual businesses along the Crenshaw LAX Transit Project that have received a BIF grant. Thank you.
Any question regarding Crenshaw project?
Alex, any questions?
Yes. In terms of the report, I want to observe that I think that overall, when we look at the project and the service that we have been delivering from the Metro staff and others, I think has been outstanding as it relates to outreach in terms of working with the small businesses in the area, as well as I believe that technical assistance is critically important in terms of the region and in terms of the small businesses in that area. And then also, I've always commended you for the Business Interruption Fund. It equally is critically important, particularly in the area where this particular line exists. So I just want to say that as we look over the period of time in which we have been implementing these various programs, that they have been exemplary overall. In terms of the hardware of the completion of the project in general, I just wanted to ask a question of how do we think we will be able, or when do we think we might be able to complete the project?
So, Commissioner, the construction is complete. We're not building anything, everything is done. What we're doing at this point is we're doing final testing and final inspection. And in order to expedite the opening, we're doing Metro's testing concurrent with the contractor in the same time. So instead of doing it sequentially, we're doing it concurrently in the same time.
Mhm.
In the next 4 to maybe 6, 8 weeks, where Metro is going to take over the entire line to finish up all our testing that we haven't done right now, and that project will be ready. In the meantime, we're going to take over pieces of the project, segments of the project, from a few days from today to the 8 weeks mark to take over the entire project.
So, in terms of the project, are there some touch-ups that we need to do along the way? Just some final touches of minor things that need to be attended to as far as the construction of the project is concerned, that you know of?
Absolutely. We have a whole list of items. We call it punch list item, and we divide them in 2 categories. First category is stuff that needs to be fixed, repaired before we take over the project. Anything related to safety, anything related to quality, anything related to tests that resulted in numbers that's not acceptable to us, that needs to be done now. And that's what I'm talking about from a few days from now until 8 weeks. There's another list of items that can be done after we take over the project. Touch up here, broken curb, these kind of things, and we give the contractor time. We hold money for it, but we give them time to correct it after we take over the project, and we're going to release the whole back when they finish the punch list item.
Now, in terms of the punch list as it relates to items such as the curve and those kinds of minor things, I would say, in looking at the entire project, does the Street Services Division of the city work with you in that regard, or does the contractor hire his or her own person to do those kind of minute, I'm calling them minute punch list items?
No, the contractor is going to do his own stuff because we paid for a good quality project, and we shall.
I see. So then, would you say our vision is that by July 1st, we should have this thing ready for a grand opening or a ribbon cutting of such?
No, it's going to take longer because there's another phase which is a pre-revenue operation, which is the operator train on the line itself. That by itself takes 2-3 months.
Got it. Okay. So then, if we, and I know, and I'm not trying to say a certain date that we can all run out there and cut a ribbon, but I'm just trying to get an idea of where we are in terms of how you see it right now. And I know that might change in our next quarterly report, but as far as today is concerned, what is your vision in terms of when we will have exhausted all of the necessary critical steps in having the project pedestrian ready, if you will?
I would say early fall.
Early fall, so somewhere around October or November, potentially. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Davis, for that questioning. I too wanted to know about when would we be able to let our residents in and start enjoying what they've been through the past couple of years. So late, you're saying fall, maybe September, August, around October?
Yeah, I would say October would be a reasonable date we have right now. Okay. We will be more precise when we actually take over the project from the contractor completely.
Understood. Got it. Okay, Mr. Galley, do you have more presentations to go?
4 more.
Okay. Any questions, colleagues, for the Crenshaw line? Okay, I think we're good for the Crenshaw line. Thank you.
Thank you. So the second project is Regional Connector Transit Project, and we have Matt Antonelli. He's the executive officer and the project manager. Matt?
Thanks, Sammy. Good morning, everyone. Matt Antonelli, the project manager for Regional Connector. Regional Connector is 3 underground stations, just under 2 miles. Project budget has not changed, so that $1.755 billion. we're about 90% complete, and we're anticipating that we revenue service sometime fall of this year. We have hit some little milestones. We're approaching some milestones, which we'll get into in a little bit here. But we will have the guideway and turned over to Metro Operations for their testing here next month. So that's a big step for us out here at Regional. Go ahead, next slide, please. Starting off with the Little Tokyo area, you can see some curb and gutter work going. Working very hard on the First Street. This is First Street on the picture on the left, trying to get that open. Continuing to focus on that in the station work, but mainly as far as the street side goes, First Street has been the focus, getting some good progress out there with all the utilities and getting ready for a street restoration. So next slide, please. One of the minor milestones we have had recently is some great news. We've had our first train run from what was the blue line tying into the gold line. So we under its own power, we've had our first train go through the system as we've done our testing. So very proud of that, and the teams work very hard to continue our testing every week and every weekend, trying to complete all of our work and get this thing turned over to Metro Operations so they can get their side going. We do anticipate that we will have the 7th and Metro side actually cut over this weekend, so they'll be running fully on our systems, which is another one more step getting closer to substantial completion. And then the focus really comes down to the Alameda Lake, Cayenne Union Station, which is the remaining of this month. Go ahead, next slide, please. Looking at at the Broadway station, there's still a lot of work going on about backfilling the station and some of the concrete work. As you might remember, this station entrance structure and the street restoration was always anticipated to be a little bit behind the other stations. So this isn't something that's unexpected, but the workers are doing a good job getting that done so we can start restoring the area and finish some of that work. Just a side note on the Broadway station. For Broadway and Hope, the station platforms, I don't have a picture here, but I will tell you and report that the stations are coming along quite well. We do have artwork that's starting to be installed, and some of those station finishes down below are being installed. Next slide, please. Moving on to Hope, we are finishing some of the last utilities on Hope Street and GTK Way. Finishing that. This station's probably the furthest along as the others as far as the restoration goes. We do have a lot of curb and gutter, some base course of the paving. And as you can see in the picture on the right, we're actually getting our final canopy installed in the station. So getting ready for glazing and everything else that goes along with that. But this station a little further along and it looks pretty nice. Next slide, please. Going down to Flower Street, we are doing a lot of curb and gutter work on some sidewalks in and around the Bank of America building and the Bonaventure. Work's been going very well. We haven't had any major issues. We're working really well with the stakeholders, and we are getting prepared for the final street restoration along Flower Street coming in middle of this year. Talking about our upcoming street closure request, Flower Street, like I said, we're still working on it, but we do need to come back and do the final cap, so it's almost there. We've got some more work to do. Last time that I presented to you all in the quarterly, I talked about AT&T work on 2nd Street by the 2nd Broadway station, if you remember. We have been looking very heavily into this, and we've been working diligently with the DOT and BOE staff, and we have determined we will need to come back for a closure. The Spring Street side is going to be a little bit easier for us, and we're just going to be modifying what's out there right now. But we will need a closure on the Broadway side between Broadway and Hill that we won't be able to avoid. So more details will come out. I'm just keeping you in the loop now. We will come back and be talking more about that closure at a later date. First Street, we've been working very diligently. And Commissioner Colozo, you asked me if we were going to hold our end date here. I'm happy to report we are holding our end date. So some good news there. Made it clear to the team we're going to live up to that commitment. So have to report that one. That one will be picked up here at the end of the month. And then eventually we're going to be some weekend closures for final paving just around each area. We're actually have a meeting this week with ConDOT to go over there and talk about final restoration and street paving limits. So more info of that in the next report. Next slide. I have Olga on the line, I believe. She's running late. Olga, you still there? Okay.
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. Did you have any add for public relations, Olga?
No, I think if you want to go through this slide, we're good, but we don't have any community concerns. The community overall is very supportive of the project, and they're excited to see the progress as we near completion of it. We continue to support them with community events, as is the case in the bottom portion of the slide. They did have their holiday event to support local businesses this past November through January, and Metro was a sponsor of that event. And we continue to provide construction updates to the general public through our bi-monthly virtual meetings. We're not back in person just yet. However, as Matt mentioned in his previous update, we are very, very active in the street, and so we are doing active coordination with stakeholders as it relates to construction in front of the property. Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Olga. And I believe Sydney, next slide, here to talk about the BIF.
Matt, and just to give an update on the numbers for the Little Tokyo area of the regional connector for the Business Interruption Fund, as of February 25th this year, total number of grants awarded is 104. That's a 3 grant increase since we last reported in early December, with a total grant value of just over $2.2 million in BIF grant awards, and that's an increase of just over 50,000 since we last reported in December. Touching on 33 individual businesses within the Little Tokyo area have received the BIF grant. Thank you.
And I believe that will be it for regional. Any questions?
Any questions for the regional connector?
I have a question, but I don't know. Madam Chair, you're on mute.
I'm sorry, my apologies. Go ahead, Commissioner Calosa and colleagues.
No worries, I didn't want to interrupt. Thank you for your presentation on the Little Tokyo Regional Connector project. Appreciate, Matt, I know that's a hard date to hold, but I appreciate you all committing to that and making sure that more sections are reopened. There's a lot of activity going on right now in Little Tokyo. Even just this coming Saturday, I'm sure your team is aware, there's a large grand opening for Little Tokyo Service Center for one of their big community projects that's happening. And so I just wanted to comment on that piece. I don't have any specific questions necessarily, but I appreciate you forecasting additional challenges that you foresee in for the Crenshaw project too. I appreciated seeing the additional numbers in terms of the grants that were awarded to the community. I know it was a significant number that I saw for the BIF on Crenshaw. So that's all I wanted to say, and look forward to seeing the continued progress on Regional Connector. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Camalosa. Dr. Davis or Commissioner Villegas, any questions?
I have none on the purple line at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, Mr. Gali, if you said this already, but when do we expect for this one to also be open and for residents to, enjoy the Metro line?
The same time frame.
Thanks. Yeah, fall this year will be targeted service.
And the next question is, which one is going to open first? I don't know.
2 for 2.
There is a race between the two teams.
All right. Well,
all right.
We have 20 on whoever wins.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gali. Next, you still have 2 more, right?
3.
3 more. Got it.
Okay. So the next one is Purple Line Section 1, and we have Jim Cohen. He's the executive officer and the project manager. Jim?
Good afternoon. We'll get right into this. This is just our standard slide showing the extent of Section 1. We are at 75% complete. That's the major change from the slide since the last time we were here. Next slide, please. First station is La Brea. I'll go over the photographs. The upper right photograph is they're drilling the elevator casings for the entrance. The lower photograph is the concourse level, which is above the track level. That's adding rebar. You can see the struts going across those big horizontal members. As soon as we get that concourse placed, we'll be removing those struts. And then on the lower left, wrapped up in that plastic is the metering switchgear that's going to be going into a room adjacent to the DWP room. So besides that, we are actively working on 3 appendages adjacent to the main box of the station, as well as electrical, mechanical, and plumbing on activities in the back of the house to support the continuing construction. I will note that we hopefully will be in front of the board in early April. We are going to be asking and requesting for 8 weekend closures so we could actually start removing the deck. So we've, for all these years, we've had that temporary deck, which is actually what the public's been driving on Wilshire Boulevard. And so we've gotten to a point where in April we should be coming to you and asking for some weekend closures so we can remove the deck, finish the last of our backfilling, and place at least the base course of asphalt. So we're making good progress at La Brea Station. Next, please. Fairfax Station, again, a lot of structural work. The upper right photograph is showing the extreme east end of the station. You can see in black, that's some of our HDPE, but that kind of gives you an outline of the arch. Again, our stations have arched roof with no center support. So this is the concourse level. They're getting ready to place those exterior walls and then the roof. The lower photograph on the right is a concrete block being installed in some of the entrance areas and also some of the back of the house. So once the structural concrete is placed, the block walls are used to separate and form individual rooms that we need. And the lower left is the opposite side of the station. That's the west side of the station where we're placing rebar. And well, actually, this is kind of dated. That has actually been placed. So all of our concourse level, which is a level above the trackway, is now complete at Fairfax Station. And again, at Fairfax, we're working on various appendages adjacent to the station box for ventilation and emergency exits. Next, please. Road closures request. Currently, we have on Wilshire Boulevard. These are not really street closures. It's really a lane closure on Wilshire Boulevard, the south curb at Sycamore, and then as part of the process of removing the decking, we'll be relocating that south curb closure as part of the decking removal, and that shows you the next section out there in purple. Next, please. And I think Sydney will give an update on our BIF.
Thank you, Jim. And just an update for the Purple Line Extension Section 1. As of February 25th, the total number of grants awarded for this section is 262, which is a 7 grant award increase since our last report in early December, with a total grant value and awards of over $6.5 million in BIF grant awards. And since the last report in early December, that's a total of $89,000. And then to touch on 90 individual businesses who have received BIF grants along the Purple Line Extension Section 1. Thank you.
Any questions on Section 1 before Section 2 takes over?
Yeah, I had some questions about Section 1. In your earlier report, you mentioned kind of where we are as 75% through. Does that mean that we anticipate, or our vision is maybe perhaps in 2024, perhaps of the summer, that we may be closer to an end towards touching up some of the things that are necessary to get this thing pedestrian ready, perhaps?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, we're starting that as part of the, as I mentioned in April, when we start removing the decking, that's like the first part of restoring the street. Once we get that, we'll be doing the curb gutter and sidewalk, and it's a progression from La Brea to Fairfax and eventually La Cienega, which is not within the city jurisdiction. And our forecast for revenue service is the fall of 24. So as was previously mentioned, we have the fall of 22 for Crenshaw and Regional. We're the fall of 24 for actual revenue service for Section 1 of the Purple Line.
Okay. Thank you.
You skipped the whole year there.
Yeah, we need to take a rest.
I got it. All right. Any other questions on Section 2, Commissioner Villegas or Commissioner Calosa? All right. Hearing none. Thank you, Mr. Cohen, for your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Section 2, Mike McKenna, Executive Officer and the Project Manager will provide the presentation.
Good morning, Commissioners. Again, Mike McKenna, Metro's Executive Officer in charge of Section 2, the Purple Line Extension. Section 2 is about 2.5 miles long and about 85% in the city of Beverly Hills, but more than half of our construction activities take place in Century City within the city of Los Angeles. We're about 50% complete through construction right now, and our forecast revenue service date is late 2025. We have a full funding grant agreement completion date no later than December 31st, 2026 with the federal government. Next slide, please. Okay, so just a reminder, I think the board is aware of the Century City area and where our station is located, but for those members of the community that are listening in, just as a reminder, our station is being constructed at the intersection of Avenue of the Stars and Constellation Boulevard within Constellation Boulevard. The entrance to the station is on the northeast corner of the intersection, which is adjacent to an ongoing development that is about to come back to life in the next week or two. The JMB's development is going to be starting up again, so we've been in close coordination with their team and the development's management staff to make sure that both construction projects can peacefully coexist in the same small area within Century City. We also have our neighbor across the street diagonally, the Century Plaza Hotel, the Fairmont. That is open now, and in what we hope to be a post-COVID world soon, we expect that they'll have a lot more traffic, and we've been working very closely with them to maintain access to their driveways and not hinder any of the large gatherings that they have at the hotel. But so far, everything in Century City is going well. Next slide, please. So the tunneling operations are based out of Century City, but right now both tunnel boring machines are located in the city of Beverly Hills. One of them is currently in the station box with the Wilshire Rodeo Station. The other one is just leaving the station box. So we're 50% complete tunneling. The first machine to leave the box is only about 40 feet east of the head wall at the east end of the station box. But you can see from the photo below, both machines had to be pushed across the floor of the station excavation. This happened within the last month and a half. We had a nice visit on a Saturday morning for the mayor of Los Angeles and a few of the council members from the city of Beverly Hills to observe the machines as they were being moved across the bottom of the station excavation. And this marks, their arrival in Beverly Hills marks completion of tunneling between Century City and the station, which, if for those of you who don't remember, was one of the most contested areas of our construction with our environmental document. And I'm proud to say that tunneling was complete on that reach with only nominal, almost unmeasurable ground settlement along the entire reach, successfully underneath the Beverly Hills High School with no issues. And we are eager to see the machines, Ruth and Harriet, continue their journey to the end of the tail tunnels at the La Cienega station, hopefully reaching there by the October-November timeframe this year. Next slide, please. Back in Century City at the station box excavation, The only excavation that's in the station area that's been progressing over the last couple of months since our last update is within the entrance. And that photo, you can see a photo on the bottom right of the entrance box excavation, getting underneath some of the utilities that support the central plant facility within the Century City area. That excavation is about 22% complete. It's almost to the depth, the same depth of the station box you can see in the photos to the left. You can see the common wall between the station box and the entrance in the left-hand side of the photo on the bottom left. And we have one more utility that needs to be relocated through most of the station box, and then another utility that needs to be relocated west of the intersection with Avenue of the Stars. Those are two City of Los Angeles owned utilities, a storm drain and a sewer. That work is ongoing, and we expect that the station box excavation will be completed by this fall. Next slide, please. So at this time, we're not forecasting any full street closures within the City of Los Angeles for Section 2 of the Purple Line through this calendar year. We have ongoing lane restrictions that we're managing, and as I mentioned earlier with the adjacent construction project at the northeast corner of Avenue of the Stars and Constellation Boulevard, we'll be working very closely with their contractor, coordinating with the hotel diagonally across the street, and also coordinating with the other office buildings and the Westfield Mall that's west of our station box to make sure that our traffic control doesn't further restrict any movement of the community throughout the area. I think we're at a steady state through construction right now, and things seem to be going very well. Our construction relations staff, led by Casey Shuda and Mindy Lake locally, have been doing a great job maintaining relationships with all of the property owners and building management staff and tenants throughout Century City. Next slide, please. And then I'll hand this one over to Sydney to talk about the BIF for Section 2.
Thank you, Mike. And just an update for Purple Line Extension Section 2. As of February 25th, the total amount of BIF grant awarded for this section is 123, which is an increase of 16 since the last report in early December, totaling a grant value of just over $3.3 million in BIF grant awards. And that's an increase of a little over $300,000 since the last report, touching on an individual business count of 50 businesses that have received the BIF grant. Thank you.
So that concludes the presentation for Section 2. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you for that. I know that I just stepped away for a little bit. She'll be back. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Oh, you're on mute, Commissioner Davis.
Yes, this is Section 3, right, to UCLA?
You just reviewed Section 2, the west.
Oh, 2, okay, yeah, I don't have
the
none.
west side purple line.
Yeah, no, I have none for that. No questions for me.
Commissioner Colosa.
Thank you, Commissioner Vegas. I don't have any questions on this section. I appreciate the detailed report and update for Metro. Thanks for all your work, Mr. McKenna.
Yeah, it's been a big undertaking. Thank you so much for that report. You all make it sound so smooth, but I know there was a lot of community meetings to get to the point that we're at now.
Yes. Thank you for your time this morning.
All right, and I think you have one more.
Yes.
All right, well, take it away.
Section 3 is the last project we're presenting today, and we have Kimberly on. She's the executive officer and the project manager that will provide this presentation. Kimberly?
Thank you, Sammy. Good morning, Commissioners. This is the Westside Purple Line Extension, Section 3, another 2.5 miles, the third extension of the D line. There are 2 stations. Final design is around 93%, and the overall project completion is approximately 34%. And our opening revenue service date is forecast for 2027. The next slide, please. So the first slide, this is just going over our tunneling progress. We do have 2 separate design build contracts. And with our tunneling contractor, we do have 2 tunnel boring machines that are in the ground. The one that is they're both in the Westwood UCLA area. The BR Tunnel Iris. This one, since this was written, now we have mined up over 4,600 feet, and it is currently within the footprint of the Westwood UCLA station. And our other tunnel boring machine, ARA, is now mined 3,100 feet and is getting very close to the west side of the Westwood UCLA station. We're still watching the overall progress by our contractor. They are still working out getting, I'll say, a steady state for the production, but it continues to get better, but that is something that we're watching. So overall, with our tunneling, it's still earlier on in the phase. The BR, it's with the amount it's mined is at 34%, and the BL is at 23%. The next slide, please. The next slide is the progress that we have at the Westwood UCLA station. If you've been out in that area, we've been out there since August installing the supportive excavation piling on the north side of Wilshire Boulevard. Our contractor is completing this phase of that work. So they are continuing with the utility relocations, the pile installations, but this coming month, later this month, our contractor has scheduled to do what we're going into the next phase so that they can then go and install the piles on the other side of Wilshire Boulevard. So that is something that we have been communicating with our stakeholders and with our community relations to get that word out to the public, but that is good progress. Overall, we've installed about 57% of the piles, but we still need to complete the rest of that pile installation before we can progress with the other work. We do continue to work with our other stakeholders. We have 3 entrances in the area, not only at UCLA, but also at 10921 Wilshire Boulevard and at 10900 Wilshire Boulevard. Those are over at the intersections of Westwood and Wilshire. So we're working with those property owners for the reconfiguration of their buildings so that we can install our station entrances. On the next slide, for the VA station update, the really big piece of work we're doing right now is relocating a mission critical utility that services the hospital. This is their steam line. Very, very massive operation here. So the contractor started this work in this past quarter in January, and that work is well underway. And once they complete the utility relocations, this one, and then we also have some other utility relocations coming up with water line and power, then they'll be able to go on with that next phase of work. So the work associated with the steam line will be continuing through 2022. The next slide that we have, this is just an overall snapshot of where we are. The red line represents where we are. Right now, if you can see that, activities, utility relocation, and piling work. What we do have coming up in the project is installing the decking. So after we get those piles installed on the ground, then we install the decks. After that, then we can excavate the dirt underneath the decking. So that decking operation, our contractor right now is forecasting the late June/July timeframe of starting that decking work in the Westwood UCLA area. And the next slide is our business interruption fund. So I'll pass it over to Sydney.
Thank you, Kim. And just to give an update on the bid total for all projects as of February 25th, the total bid grant awards are 1,349, and that's an increase of 48 since the last report in early December, with a total grant value award of over 33.6 million, I should say, in BIF grant award totals. And since the last report, there's been over $900,000 awarded by the BIF, touching an individual business count across all alignments that we previously gave an update on of 431 individual businesses. Thank you.
Any question for Purple Line 3?
Great, thank you. Any questions, colleagues?
We don't have any.
Sounds like no. And what about this one? Is this one aligned with your other ones as well, or this is? I think I saw 2025. Was that right?
No, this one is 2027, the purple, section 3, 2027.
Okay. That's enough. All right. Thank you, Mr. Gali.
I just have a transportation question. As we look at the system that we've put together, and obviously I guess it'll be 2027 when we put it together totally, Oakland has, and San Francisco has a network in that region. Do they have one similar in the Southern California area of San Diego as well? A system like ours?
Well, our system has different component to it. We have buses, we have LRT, like the Gold Line, and we have a subway. So San Diego would have LRT. I know that. I'm not sure whether they have a subway or not. Subway is the most expensive and the mode that carry the most people.
Is there any feature in our network, in our system? I'm glad to hear the interconnectedness, because in some of our other forms of transportation heretofore this project, that was really one of the gaps, is the lack of the interrelationship between different forms of communication. So I'm glad to hear that we have done that. But my question to you is, obviously this probably is one of the biggest, more recent federally funded transportation projects in the country. Is there anything unique about what we're doing here that characterizes our work in terms of today's transportation?
Well, I can think of two things. Number one, it's a piece of a much, much bigger overall plan that called the long-range transportation plan. That has project until 2050. So it's not one and we're done. It's like a puzzle, and each one of them is going to fit this bigger puzzle. So that's important. And the second is, it emphasizes what you just said, connectivity between the line. Like the regional connector, for example, connect 3-4 lines.
I see.
So that's very important too. And instead of one line going nowhere, we have the connectivity with other lines.
And then we also connect the airport in on it, right?
We're connecting to a people mover that connect to the airport. So the Crenshaw line have a station that's going to be intermodal station that's going to take people from this station to the airport.
Was it ever a part of our vision to be connected also to, what is the station down there on Alameda that goes to San Diego? Was it ever our vision to also connect to that kind of form of transportation as well? Or maybe in some other phase in the future?
Yeah, I have to get back to you, but I think we have project that addresses this, but maybe not in the immediate future, but yes.
Okay, great. All right, well, thank you so much for your report today and for the progress that we are seeing.
Agreed. Thank you, Dr. Davis. Yes. Mr. Gali, do you have any other more presentations?
No, we're done. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing you once again, and I appreciate when we haven't seen any street closures lately, so I don't know. I think we're good for now, right?
We're good for now.
Okay, good. Thank you, Mr. Gali.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, colleagues, now this takes us to the end of today's meeting. I'm going to pass over to Commissioner Colosa for our final adjournment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you to all my colleagues for participating in today's Rory Shaw Awards presentation. As I mentioned earlier, unfortunately, the passing of Rory Shaw's mom was news that we found out recently, and we thought that in recognition of the importance of today, as we continue Rory's legacy, that we also acknowledge and commemorated the legacy of his mother. And so I'll be adjourning the meeting in her memory today, and I'll start by reading her obituary that was shared by the family. On February 1st of 2022, Shirley Rose Shaw passed away at the age of 89. Shirley was born on June 25th, 1932, in Manistic, Michigan, to parents Peter and Mary. Shirley often referred to her father as the Baron of Cedar Street, a name earned by throwing the best parties in town. She was the fourth of five siblings, Jack, Bob, Lois, and Peter, all of whom predeceased her. Shirley is survived by her daughter, Leslie Bodie, who joined us earlier today, and her grandchildren, Jenna and Jimmy, and a great collection of nieces and nephews. After graduating from Manistique High School in 1950, Shirley ventured into the world and encountered an indeterminate number of adventures in a variety of cities, the details and locations of which were clearly reported as here and there, although mentions of Champaign, conjoined twins, and a brief but wildly successful career as a bacteriologist were scattered in between the heres and theres. Sounds eventful. In 1956, Shirley married Thomas Michael Shaw, commonly called Mike, in their mutual hometown of Manistique, Michigan. Mike and Shirley honeymooned in Niagara Falls. The new couple moved to Denver, Colorado, where they were joyfully welcomed the birth of their eldest child, Lori Michael Shaw. After Mike was released from service in the Army, the burgeoning family returned home to the Mitten State and welcomed the final member of their family, Leslie Elizabeth, in 1960. The family moved around the Great Lakes region before settling in the northern town of Traverse City, Michigan, which we heard a lot about today. Shirley lived in Traverse City for the remainder of her life, save her last 2 years, which she spent close to her daughter and grandchildren. Life in Traverse City was good. As her 2 children grew, Shirley developed close friendships throughout the community. She was a member at the Grand Traverse Yacht Club and enjoyed sailing in the West Bay. Shirley was a crackerjack bridge player and often bragged later in life to her granddaughter about her exemplary skills. Shirley's home hosted a spectacular garden, which she personally maintained despite an ongoing assault of dandelions and bunny rabbits. Shirley loved to shop antiques, and she honed a well-trained collector's eye that she put to use during her employment at a local coins and collectible shop. She accumulated an impressive collection of jewelry and antiques over the years. When Shirley wasn't gardening or antiquing, she was likely traveling. Whether she was overseas in China, Croatia, Russia, Italy, Thailand, or stateside in California, Arizona, Utah, or Wisconsin, Shirley made it her mission to see the world and the beauty it had to offer. She spent many winters in California visiting her beloved son, Rory, who tragically passed away in 2005, but she retained many close friends in the Los Angeles area. Shirley made the best pot of vegetable beef soup known to man. Shirley can only be described as a force to be reckoned with. She boasted a quick wit and self-assurance not often reflected in women of her generation. Shirley lived her life as though she was the main character in an Agatha Christie novel, a life filled with interesting characters, vacations in foreign lands, jewels, and mystery. Unlike an Agatha Christie novel, her passing, while heartbreaking, was peaceful and quick. She will remain a steadfast influence on her surviving family and is deeply loved and missed by all. With that, I would like to officially adjourn today's meeting in memory of Rory Shaw's mother, Miss Shaw, who passed away last month. And thank you again to the family for allowing us to remember her legacy and her memory. And may we continue every day and live every day a little bit like Miss Shaw. And so thank you, Madam Chair, for allowing me this honor.
Thank you, Commissioner Calosa.
Thank you.
We are officially adjourned. Thank you.